Do you think that your bass is sidechained properly? Because I'm willing to bet it's not. And yeah, I've been doing it wrong for years too, until I discovered the exact timing that makes your kick and bass sound like a one powerful low-end force. For years, I used a compressor to sidechain like everyone else, tweaking parameters endlessly, but never quite nailing it. Sometimes I'd overdo it and get that cheesy pumping effect. Sometimes I'd underdo it, and the kick and bass would clash. Then I switched to using VolumeShaper by Cable Guys, which is a volume automation tool that allows you to program your own volume curves. But I would still get it wrong. And the worst part? Those random clicks and pops. I'd get these harsh transients out of nowhere. Everything changed when I started using LFO tool for its oscilloscope feature. For the first time, I could actually see my kick and bass waveforms together. And what I saw shocked me. My volume curve was all wrong. The timing was completely incorrect. So instead of relying solely on my ears and trying to make it sound good, I needed to look at and match the actual volume curve of my kick. So no wonder it never sounded cohesive. But because I was using VolumeShaper, I was able to fix my mistakes. You see, unlike a compressor, a plugin like VolumeShaper gives you complete control over the volume automation curve. You draw exactly what you want, when you want it. So here's the exact formula that changed everything. First, set your automation to a 1/4 cycle that repeats. Now, your bass needs to be completely silent for the first 1/16 of the beat. That's important because that's where your kick lives at 100% volume. Then, from the 1/16 to the 1/8 mark, you need to create a linear fade from 0 to 100% volume. This gradual rise would coincide with the kick's descent in volume and will create a perfect fade between the two. So your bass reaches full volume right as the kick's main impact ends. The bass stays at 100% until the last 1/32nd of the cycle. Then you create another linear fade down to 0% volume. This creates separation between each hit, giving your kick more impact while keeping everything clean, and prevents those clicking artifacts because all of the volume transitions are not happening instantaneously in a 90-degree angle. But here's the crucial part. This changes based on your kick type. That formula works for most kicks, but trance kicks, for example, are a different story. Trance kicks have a slower pitch down. The sine wave takes longer to reach the fundamental, meaning more audible frequencies between the 1/16 and 1/8 mark. If your bass comes in too early, it clashes with these higher kick frequencies. So for trance kicks, the only difference is that I keep the bass completely silent for the first full 1/8 duration, while avoiding a 90-degree angle at the change from 0% to 100% volume. So you'll have to match your sidechain to your specific kick and not use some universal preset. And here's what some producers get wrong. First, they don't drop the bass to complete silence. Even 10% volume causes clashing. It needs to be 0, complete silence where the kick hits. Second, wrong timing. Too short and your kick and bass will fight. Too long and you lose bass presence. The 1/16 silence into 1/16 fade is the sweet spot for most kicks. Third, those clicking artifacts. Any sharp angle in your volume curve creates a click. That's why the linear fades are crucial. Smooth transitions, no sudden jumps. Once I nailed this formula, my low end transformed. No more choosing between too much pump or muddy clash. The kick hits hard, the bass fills the space, and they sound like one cohesive element. And the crazy part? This only takes seconds to set up once you know the formula. But I wasted years with compressor sidechaining and wrong volume curves, never understanding why it didn't work. But today I just used the preset I made for VolumeShaper, and you can get it too in the link at the description down below. But what happens when you combine perfect sidechaining, perfect phase alignment, and perfect sub-frequency balance? You get the ultimate low end that your track wants and needs. So make sure to subscribe, because next time I'm showing you how to make a perfect bass in just 5 minutes using everything we've covered.